What's up and shit, everybody? We got a brand new episode. Today we're switching it up a little bit. We got a little bit of a new scenery. That's just because I was a little bit too lazy to set the other shit up. And that's a little bit not true because I wanted to just try and switch it up a little bit. But anyways, we got some cool topics today. We got some more dating advice. I've been doing this a little bit more because I do enjoy giving dating advice. I do. I enjoy it. I just enjoy giving advice in general because sometimes people just don't know what the fuck to do. And I feel like I've taken a lot of time out of my life to figure out what the fuck to do in certain situations. So I figured it out so that you don't have to. You're welcome, by the way. You're welcome first and foremost. But hey, we're going to get right into it. We're going to do, no further ado. We got this. Maybe we can help some people out along the way too, okay? Y'all like the new setup? I hope that you're watching on YouTube, and if you're not, that's cool too. I hope that the audio is good too. We got a new mic in here. We're trying new shit, okay? This is what we're doing. We're trying new shit. So, we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. This first fella, these are some random questions that we got about some dating advice, and maybe it's just some people that's just struggling with some shit. And maybe we can take some time to help them out a little bit, So this one is constantly rejected. Is it me? But it just seems like no matter what woman I talk to, I always get rejected. Keep going through the same situation over and over again. Why do I keep going through this constantly never-ending cycle of rejection throughout my whole life? Well, listen, bud. That's just what you're going to do. You're going to go through life constantly getting rejected, regardless of whoever the fuck you are. It doesn't matter if you're fucking Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt probably gets rejected. It doesn't matter if you're the king of fucking Saudi Arabia or the king of England. All these people get rejected, bruh. And maybe you should think about why you're getting rejected to begin with, first of all. Second of all, maybe think that rejection isn't a bad thing. Maybe because, first of all, rejection can be good. It can show you a reflection of what you're doing wrong. First, and second of all, rejection it means that you're doing something right, actually. Because you got to get through all the no's to get to the yeses. So if you don't, how are you going to know, how the fuck are you going to know if you're doing something, how the fuck do you know? How do you know if you're going to get the yes? If you want the yes and you keep on trying, eventually you're going to get to a yes. If you keep getting to a no, you're going to get to the yes. And that's the way that I look at it. So I think that if you're getting rejected, then I think that you're kind of doing something right. You know what I'm saying? By getting rejected, you can kind of look back on what you're doing and think, okay, what could I have did differently? How could I have changed whatever the fuck that I did? Could you have changed whatever you did? I mean, you already did whatever you did and you got rejected. I don't think that shit matters. I think that you're holding on to the rejection too much. You shouldn't be thinking about why. You shouldn't be thinking about the rejection part of it. You should be thinking okay, so that was an experience and I can learn from this. First of all. Second of all, you got to get through the no's to get to the yeses. So I think this is a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe you should keep on trying to get rejected. Whenever I go out and I'm trying to get a yes, if I'm trying to riz and shit, bro, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to get rejected. Because if this bitch rejects me, then I know that this bitch ain't for me. And I ain't for that bitch. So, hey, I'm trying to get that rejection as quickly as possible, actually, so that you don't waste fucking time. Did you ever think about it like that? Rejection is okay. It's okay to get rejected. And you're going to get rejected throughout your whole entire fucking life. So maybe try to tweak your algorithm a little bit and see what you can do to not get rejected. Did you ever try that? Anyways, here we go. Here's the next one. We're just going to go right through these. I'm going to try to make this quick as possible. I'm on a little time crunch here. This is another reason why we're doing it like this. This is a little bit kind of weird for me. So we're trying something new. Fuck it. I just got home from an absolutely humiliating third date, and I don't know how to feel. I'm in my late 20s with little dating experience. She's in her mid 30s. That's a bit of a gap there, bud. We we matched on Tinder. You see, whenever I hear that shit, you know I'm judging right off the rip. I'm automatically judging. If you match on somebody with Tinder, I'm judging. Okay, I'm sorry. I've yet to find any quality people that have said that they've matched with a quality person on Tinder, if that tells you anything. And I'm going to reiterate this. I've reiterated this in all the other fucking dating advice episodes that I've did. I am not on Tinder. And I am not on any sort of dating services or dating sites. So if you see me on there, report that shit. I do not recommend dating sites, by the way, if you haven't found out. We matched on Tinder a little over a month ago, but hey, you know what? At the same time, sometimes you should utilize the things that you got at your hand. I prefer personally meeting and interacting with people in person, and I think that that's the best way to do it. But, if you're going through the dating shit, maybe you can utilize the things that you got at your hand, right? I ain't hating, but I am a little, okay? So we matched on Tinder a little over a month ago and went on 2 dates. Both great. But she lives 2 hours away. I was fine with that since I plan to move to her city next year. For a third date, she invited me over for a movie night, even offering her couch to crash on. I arrived, we talked a bit, but she seemed tired and distant. Dude, you should have just went home, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna stop jumping in right here. I'm sorry for interrupting you. During the movie, she turned down the chocolate I brought, laid on the far side of the couch, and asked me to move when I tried to sit closer. Later, I accidentally tugged her hair when I tried the arm around move. She snapped at me. Like, are you talking about the arm around whenever you yawn and shit? The classic move. She snapped at you? Brother, if I would have got snapped at like that, I probably would have been very combative. And then I would have probably dipped. Honestly. After the movie, she got up, went to her roommate, and I could hear them giggling. When she came back, she was cold, and this was all too much, and ended the date. I left feeling humiliated. Now I'm wondering, was I too nervous, too pushy, or just badly dressed? Well, I got a feeling it probably wasn't the way that you dressed. From the moment I arrived, I felt like an unwanted guest. If I'm ever feeling like that, I'm probably just going to be like, yeah, I got some shit I got to do. I got to go. That's what I probably would have did. Now I'm wondering, was I too nervous, too pushy, or just badly dressed? Yeah, I already read that. Drove 2 hours for a movie night, got treated like crap, and kicked out after one film. Looking back, I realized trying to make a move, especially twice, was pushy and intensive given the situation. Man, if you're getting invited over for movie night, if this bitch is inviting you over for movie night, I think that it's expected that you're going to touch a little bit. I think that it's a little bit of an expectation. Maybe a little bit of a cuddle. Maybe you get some cuddles in there, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you get a little bit of smooch action. that's what I'm usually expecting if we're getting a movie date going on. Maybe you're not gonna fuck, and that's all right. That's okay if you don't. It says, looking back, I realized trying to make a move, especially twice, was pushy. And maybe you wasn't reading the situation correctly. Maybe you wasn't reading the body language. Maybe you're just not good at reading body language. You're not picking up the cues, bruh. That's probably what's going on. You're probably not picking up the cues and the right times to do shit. Maybe you're just, oh goddamn, got a hair in my mouth. Maybe you're just you're not picking it up, dude. Okay? You probably are just trying to force shit. And she probably feels that you're trying to force shit because she wouldn't have been pushing away like that, bro. If you wasn't trying to force shit. That's what I think's going on. Probably A, and probably B. Maybe this is like not like, maybe this girl has trauma issues. Maybe, and in that case, I probably would have avoided her or took it on as a challenge. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. But you probably wasn't picking up the cues, bro. She probably was giving signs that the shit that was going on, just, you probably needed to take it a little bit slow. You probably should have just took the first time that you tried to do some shit and she got a little bit distant from you. You probably should have just backed off a little bit. From a coach that I like, Coach Corey Wayne, he likes to use the analogy of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's the way that I look at it. That's cool. Like, you don't want to go too fast. If you're going too fast, the girl's going to sense it and she's going to back up. She's going to back away from you and she just ain't going to fuck with you. Because if you keep on being too pushy, then it's going to look like you're too fucking needy. And I have a feeling that you probably didn't add some of the stuff in here. You probably tried to get in her pants a little bit, and it wasn't the right time. That's the way that I'm looking at it. That's what I'm thinking. And you probably just didn't put it in there because you didn't want to seem like a needy fucking dude. That's the way that I'm viewing this right now. And you drove 2 hours. 2 hours just to get fucking rejected, bro. You had it solidified. You got invited to a movie date. You probably could have been in there by the end of the night. But you fucked up because you was being too pushy. And, this seems like a structured woman as well. Because you don't want to, like, if you're advancing, and she's rejecting your advancements, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It means that it's not going to happen. Like, it's just going to be delayed. If she fucks with you. But if you keep on trying and keep on trying, whenever the signs are not there, you're just going to push her away and you're going to be looking like you're needy, bruh. Okay? And I reiterate needy so many times during these episodes because a lot of these guys are just fucking needy. And if you're needy, you're going to push out the people that you could potentially have something with. You're going to push them away. And whenever I say structured, I'm not bashing this girl because I don't know. Maybe this guy is trying to make it look like the girl is, she's trying to humiliate him or some shit. But maybe she just didn't feel comfortable, bro. You didn't make her feel comfortable and didn't make her want to fuck you. Okay? Just this is what it sounds like. And, there are some girls that are structured in the sense of, they're not gonna, they're intentionally holding back how they're feeling towards you just to try to get a reaction out of you. And I don't fuck with that. I do not fuck with that at all. But they also do that in a sense to see if you're going to be needy. See if you're going to be one of these guys that are just not worth a fuck. Okay? And you're basically showing that you're not worth a fuck. If you keep on trying and trying and trying whenever the time isn't right, and you're just making her feel uncomfortable, bro. Okay? Simple as that. This next one is pretty fucking interesting. She saved her ex's number under a fake name. I wasn't snooping. I was calling someone from her phone while mine was dead and saw it. The name didn't make sense, so I clicked it, and there it was. His number, her ex. My stomach dropped. We've been together for almost 3 years, and I thought this chapter was closed. When I asked her, she said it's not what you think. That she just didn't want me to get weird about it, which made me feel even worse. What do you weird about it? Isn't it fucking weird that you have your ex's number in your fucking phone still? Why the fuck is that guy still in your phone? Anyways, and why are you hiding it? Isn't that weird? Okay. It's not about the number more than the secrecy, the choice to hide it. I am trying to tell myself that it's not, trying to tell myself not to make it a big thing, but it keeps looping in my head. If it's innocent, why lie? We have been going to therapy for a while now to work on communication and trust. It sounds like this is like a one-ended thing. It sounds like she's the one that needs to work on communication and trust. And I'm trying to bring it up to her calmly, but I can feel myself shutting down a bit. Would you see this as a deal breaker? Abso-fucking-lutely. Or is it something you would try to work through? Man, don't work through that shit. That bitch is a whore. You can't work through that. I'm trying to work through that shit. I will admit I have seen people work through shit like this and it works out for them in the long run. I have seen that. It's a very rare case. Me personally, if the shit happens to me, it's done. It's over with. The second that I see some shit like that, it's done. There's no going back from this. The trust is completely lost. That bitch is a whore. And you ain't going to get the shit. You ain't going to get out of it, man. And there's no bringing it up calmly. Yeah, you can bring it up calmly. You can go about it in a calm manner. But the shit still happened. And why is she trying to hide that shit from you? And then gaslighting you into making you think that you're being weird about it? The whole shit's weird. She's being a whore. Drop that hoe. You do not need to be fucking with this girl. And this girl does not need to be fucking with you. Okay? Go ahead and get rid of her. That was easy. And that just like that. Move on. Find a new bitch. Okay, here's a new one. Just had my first ever date at 24 years old. You lagging behind, bruh. I think it was successful. Question mark. I, a 24 male, somehow landed a date with the girl of my dreams last night. What a way to fucking put it. I've never dated before, mainly because I was sheltered growing up, and I am generally pretty shy, introverted, and socially awkward to an extent. I thought he was going to say to an extrovert. The reason why I don't know how I did was that she did like 80% of the talking. That's okay. I mainly just asked questions and occasionally would say a few sentences of my own. But I was genuinely invested in what she was saying, and she seemed very enthusiastic about talking to me. I even managed to make her laugh a few times, which was a good feeling. That's awesome. Yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, I'm just afraid I came off as stupid and socially awkward loner with zero relationship skills. Looking back, I wish I have had some things to add depth to the conversation, but unfortunately, they didn't come to mind at the moment. Later that night, she sent like 30 pics she took of me and asked for me to send the pics I took of us. I feel like it was a success, but at the same time, why would a girl like her, completely out of my league, want to be with someone like me? Or maybe I'm just being too harsh on myself. Bro, you're being too harsh on yourself, first of all. Second of all, you got to figure out your fucking skills. You got to get some communication skills, man. Now, 80% of the talking, she did 80% of the talking. That's actually okay. And you did the right thing without knowing that you did the right thing because, girls just like to fucking talk, man. And that's just what it is. Me, a person being the way that I am, I like to fucking talk too. So I have a tough time trying to shut up and let the other person talk. That's my experience and my problem that I have. But you did the right thing here. This is good. This is good, and you did it without even knowing it. It sounds like that you don't have any social skills. You already said that shit, and you're introverted. Maybe you need to work on that. Maybe you need to be a little bit more socially out there. Maybe you need to work on that. That's something you should work on, and I'm glad that you're bringing it up and reflecting on that, because now you know what you can work on. And you should have a little bit more confidence, man. Yeah, if you're thinking a girl is out of your fucking league, she probably is. And that's not because she is out of your league. That's because of the fucking mindset that you have. If you have the mindset that a person like this is out of your league, then you're probably thinking that because you're inadequate in some sort of way or fashion. So maybe you can fix that by doing things that improve your value as a person. Or B, you just have no confidence. Maybe you need to get your confidence up. If you add value to yourself and turn yourself into a better person, then maybe you'll have more confidence, and maybe you won't be feeling like this bitch is out of your league, because then you'll be feeling like you're out of this bitch's league. You ever think about it like that? Maybe you should just add more value to yourself, bruh. And you need to have more confidence. She fucked with you. It looked like that she's fucking with you. And if you keep on with this bullshit of talking like you're not good enough, she ain't gonna fuck with you. And if she figures out fast that you're acting like this, then she's definitely not gonna fuck with you, bruh. Because whenever she starts to see that, you are socially awkward. I mean, it's socially awkward is, that's a broad term. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm socially awkward at some points whenever I just don't feel like fucking talking to people. And that's just not me being awkward. That's just me not wanting to do it. But like for your case, maybe you can work on it a little bit. Maybe you can go out more. Maybe you can talk to more people. Become a little bit more extroverted. You can be an introverted extrovert, bruh. And maybe you can work on that shit. Maybe you can work on your confidence. Stop talking down on yourself. All right, we got one more, and then we can just cut this shit. We've been doing pretty good. Little short episode for you. I made a terrible... I love this one, because I feel like this is me sometimes. I made a terrible joke to a girl I am dating. Now she is distant, and I don't know what to do. And the reason I added this one in here is because, this guy needs some help a little bit. But I've been through this shit before, and I genuinely think that... I'll tell you in a minute. I'll tell you whenever we get done with this. I made a terrible joke to a girl I am dating, and now she is distant, and I don't know what to do. We were sitting in the car yesterday discussing our relationship. She said something like, "I don't want to be a financial burden to you." In a sarcastic way, I jokingly replied, "You already are." That's genuinely funny. That's fucking funny, dude. I think that's funny. You already are. If she was a cool bitch, she would have laughed at that. Okay. She went cold right after that. I kept explaining that it was a bad joke and that I regret it. I said that I never thought about money when I'm with her because I am happy to provide, especially since I see my future with her. I genuinely feel that way. I wrote her a paragraph explaining everything yesterday, but she left me on red. Is there anything I can do to save the relationship? Update. She replied to my text saying that she doesn't want to talk and wants space. I suggested meeting today, but she says she wants to be alone in her room. For more context, she's still a student and struggling financially. Knowing that, I made a dumb comment that was more of a low IQ moment than a joke with a hidden meaning. I have some work and self-criticism to do. it's sad that it would be at the expense of something that filled my life with joy from the start. Thanks, everyone. Bro, you're doing too much fucking explaining, man. You do not need to over-explain yourself. I would have apologized for her feeling some type of way. I'm sorry that made you feel some type of way. I didn't mean anything by it. See, I like this because I've made this mistake before, and I don't know if it's fully a mistake really, because I just be saying shit, and if you know me, you know that I just be saying shit, and I just don't be caring about the fucking shit, and I'm just trying to be funny, It should be something that if she was cool, she would have fucking laughed at that shit. Okay, first of all, and second of all, kind of the joke you're joking about, financially. If you're being frugal, I'm typically a frugal person. I don't like to spend money on things unless it's like an investment, a long-term investment. So, if you're being frugal in a way, and if you're dealing with a girl that wants a guy to provide, and you're joking about, not wanting to provide, that may be an issue to a girl that is looking for a provider. That may be an issue, but if it's just a joke, this bitch should have laughed at that shit. If I'm with a bitch and she gets butthurt about me cracking a joke like this is not the one for me. I'm making jokes all the fucking time, and I'm fucking funny, dude. I'm funny. And if you're not laughing at whatever the fuck I'm saying that's actually genuinely funny, if I'm laughing at whatever I'm saying and you're not laughing, you just need to have a fucking sense of humor, bro. I mean, come on, man. Why can't you fucking laugh? I mean, it was a joke. You said that it was a joke. And this writing a paragraph explaining, you're doing too much fucking explaining. You should not have had to explain this much at all. And if she's being distant, you should not suggest to get together. After you wrote that paragraph and she left you on red, you don't just suggest to get together. She didn't even fucking reply to you, bro. And this also, at the same time, this could be an excuse because maybe she just didn't fuck with you. Maybe you did some shit earlier and she just didn't fuck with you. Or just in general, maybe she just didn't fuck with you and she wanted a reason to not fuck with you. So then she's using that joke as a reason to not fuck with you. I don't fuck with that. Why would you? Now, maybe you're trying, it looks like that you're trying a little bit. It looks like you're trying to maybe get something out of it, maybe try to turn it around a little bit. But if this bitch can't even laugh at a joke like that, you need to find a new bitch that's going to laugh at your jokes, bro. That's the way that I look at it. You need to find some bitch that's going to laugh at your jokes. If she ain't laughing, if you're cracking jokes and she ain't laughing at your jokes, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Find a new bitch that's going to laugh at your jokes. That's the way that I look at it. Don't over explain yourself, man. This is one thing that I've figured out too, especially doing a podcast and shit, is that in the beginning I was trying to over explain myself, but I do not need to do that. I do not need to over explain myself. I probably don't even need to explain myself as much as I already do. I just say whatever the fuck that I say, and you take it however the fuck you take it. If you have questions, if she was that concerned about it and that concerned with trying to save the relationship, maybe she would have added her 2 cents in there, and then you could have responded then. But if they're not even looking for an explanation, don't give it to them. What the fuck is the purpose? I think that's it. I think I'm done for the day. We do got a few in here. I think that we got a good episode. We're on 30 minutes. This is pretty good. Quick episode today. Maybe we'll get something good out there. We got some good shit. Make sure you subscribe and all that shit. Subscribe to the TV channel, Wholehearted Entertainment TV. Subscribe to the other channel, Wholehearted Entertainment. We love the fuck out of you. I love the fuck out of you. Personally. And I hope that you love me too. But if you don't, fuck it.